Hello world, welcome back to the Razor RC, and it's Free Car Friday, which is probably being released on like a Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't really know how that works, but we are reviewing and taking a look at this, the MJXRC 16207 four-wheel drive 16th scale high-speed buggy. We shall see. It's called the Hyper Go. I guess that's like the line of vehicles. And they sent this out to me as well as this optional transmitter, the HGT22. I don't think you can buy this by itself. I'm not really sure. Maybe you can, but I think it's an optional radio for this vehicle that you can use right up, because apparently the stock radio not the best, so that it will be interesting to see. 3S capable, 4x4, 25C LiPo, I guess, included. We shall see. I have not opened this thing up. Let's grab a knife and take a look at what's inside the box. And yeah, we're gonna cut this thing open and see what's going on. So there are 3 pieces of tape. I know very little about this other than it costs $155 or so from Amazon. So you can pick it up there. And let's take a look at this thing if we can pull it out. There's the vehicle, there's the manual, the Hyper Go, and looks like you just kind of pull off these, pull out the truck itself, and there you go. Wow, this thing is heavy. Oh, actually very nice suspension travel. This looks different than any vehicle I've seen. If you know what this is based off, someone please let me know. Wow. Feels like metal bumpers front and rear. This thing is heavy. Like, suspension action looks amazing. We'll take a look at what else comes in the vehicle. The stock radio here. Looks fairly inexpensive. Some sort of blank screen there. A few other pieces that fell out. So we got the wing, which we'll mount up. Looks like a basic USB charger. Looks like a wheelie bar, possibly optional. This looks like another sort of charger. I wonder if this is just the pack or what. Interesting. Huh. Looks like a LiPo battery itself. I've never seen this before. This is the battery? Guess so. LiPo battery 25C. You need the included charger. Wow, this is funky. I've never seen this. This is almost like something you're gonna slide in or something. So I have not seen this thing. I know very little about it. Wow, look at that. What is going on with this thing? Wow, look at this. All right, Dean's plug. Here's the ESC. Here's the motor. I think like a 25 by, I want to say 36. Does come with the in-grain fan. Heat sink as well. This, wow, how do you even do this? What the? What? This is like a... What? Okay. This is crazy. This is like the most crazy looking RC car I've ever seen that might actually be pretty good. So the chassis looks somewhat reminiscent of like a Traxxas Stampede or something, but like actually better. It does have like, looks like a steel Ackerman bar. That's nice. Adjustable turnbuckles, actually halfway decent size. Actually has both a hex and a hex driver that you can use to adjust it. Phillips screwdriver screws. Looks like oil-filled shocks. Actually, damping and spring rate on this thing are like perfect. Amazing. Decent amount of droop. Tires look pretty good. They're a sort of a blocky style tire. Ton of toe out. Probably something you want to adjust. This, oh no, this is a plastic bumper, but it's just been painted or it's molded in like this shiny silver color. Really nice looking. This thing is a beast. Wow, differentials not completely open. Huh, interesting. Feels like, okay, it's got a steel center shaft. That's nice. This, wow, where's this thing made? It does not feel like your standard cheapo vehicle, honestly. 4-wheel drive, let's see. Differential wise, I don't think there's a center diff or anything. Hard to tell. But look at these batteries. What the heck? All right, well that's pretty cool. I'm impressed so far. Take a quick look at the manual, see if there's anything interesting. English is actually fairly legible. Tells you about the ESC servo. Looks like a separate receiver as well, or is this on the vehicle itself? I'm not sure if it's a separate receiver. Hard to tell by looking at it. Well, instructions on how to mount on the wheelie bar, mount on the wing, install the batteries, body style. Where is my body? Here it is. On the box, it looks very much like a Techno EB410 style body or a Techno EB48 style body. Definitely some resemblance there. Looks like probably a little clear film you want to pull off the body before you run it. And then kind of explains how the vehicle is put together. Better manual than most of these sort of inexpensive entry-level vehicles. High-speed car assembly, and then spare parts. Huh. Really, really interesting vehicle. I'm interested in checking this thing out because this is unlike anything I've ever seen. I mean, it really looks like like if Traxxas made a mini 1/16 scale, it would look exactly like this. I mean, the chassis looks very much like a Traxxas style chassis, even with the hexagon, even with kind of these side guards, which something like, I think the Haas has something similar. Sort of this drop down style chassis. Very, very interesting. I think this is plastic. It's just kind of shiny. But yeah, really, really interesting. Looks like CVAs in the rear. Wow, amazing. CVAs in the front as well. Arms, are they? Yep, they looks. No, they're not symmetrical front and rear. Different arms front and back. You can tell by kind of these little covers where the shocks mount. The shocks actually mount in different locations. Geometry looks a lot better than your usual thing. Sort of vertical, lay down shocks with a couple of different mounting locations on the shock, so you can adjust the shock locations. Double wishbone suspension, but with standard sort of C-hubs and spindles. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. It's always neat to me to see something I've never seen before, and just looking at this is very different. Looks like maybe an integrated servo saver there on the servo for protection. Yeah, separate receiver, separate ESC, separate motor. 3S brushless, so this looks like something, yeah, you could swap out the receiver, throw in a different receiver if you want to use your favorite brand. Interesting. Here's the wing mount. Not bad at all. Okay, well, we're gonna try this thing out and see how it runs. Okay. 3S keep. Oh wow, this thing's got a ton of power. Like a ton. Let's see. Okay. Difficult to drive. That's full rip there. Pretty good speed. Okay. Steering leads a little to be desired. It's really the controls, I think. Controls are hair unstable. Set up pretty firm out of the box, suspension wise. Whew. Alright, tough to drive in the loop stuff. Got some torque steer. You definitely cannot just rip right into this thing. Gotta work up the power. torque steer for days. Wow. Ooh, that was close. There's a little dust and gravel there, so definitely pulled to the left on power. You just kind of drive it almost same. Yeah, it's got the double tap reverse. So to get in reverse, you just hit the brake twice. There's no sensing of whether you're actually stopped or not. You can do crazy things like that. That's fine. It's hard to drive. It's actually like kind of do a little slow in here. Does unload the front pretty easily. No center slip or anything. I'm still using the stock radio, so they did send me another optional radio, which I bet you would help a ton. This radio is really not very good. Turbo's quick though. A lot of drag brake. Huh. Yeah, it's almost got like auto braking. Huh. It's weird. You let off the trigger, it'll just brake on its own. Yeah. After about a half second of no throttle, it just brakes. I guess that's good if it's if you got a runaway. Little safety thing, just kind of weird. Whew, a little out of control. Okay, so yeah, the way it drives, overpowered. Suspension chassis is actually really good. Just a bit small for a 3S power, so you know, it's hard to do like slaloms or something when you're going like too fast. If this thing were like on brush or 2S, it'd probably handle really well because it's just not so. You know, I don't know about 3S powered cars this small. It's it's just a hard thing to pull off. But the design is amazing. I like the way it drives. I mean, I like the, that's weird too. It's got auto braking. I bet you would benefit a lot from a good radio in ESC, because I think the chassis and everything itself is actually really good. Just the electronics and stuff, not up to par. But to be honest with you, every like budget RC car like this has got pretty poor radio and ESC response. But anyways, yeah, first run with that. That's how it looks. Okay, so there's some running footage of the MJXRC 16207. Thoughts about it. I did actually try the optional radio. I think it's called the HG22 radio. It was quite a bit of improvement, honestly. I didn't try the GPS or the other special telemetry features, but just the radio itself definitely drives much better. It doesn't have that weird auto braking thing that I was experiencing with the stock radio. Much more in control. I think it's a far better radio than the stock radio, which is this guy here. So yeah, if you're looking for a little bit of improvement, I think you will see that there. I think it sells for $50 though, so I don't know if it's the best option for an aftermarket radio, but it is cool that it does have a different receiver than the ESC, so you can swap out the radio and receiver with no issues without, you know, some of them are like a combo unit where you need to buy both the ESC and the receiver, but not this guy, so that was nice. Although I did have to bind it to the receiver, it was not bound out of the box, which is, again, kind of weird, but not a big deal. Just read the radio manual and you can figure that out. But yeah, final thoughts. Tons of power. I think it's quite quick. 3S batteries. I mean, that's pretty impressive. It's got two of these guys. Really, really nice. Chargers, you know, even two chargers as well. That's kind of crazy. It's got two chargers. They are USB, but it is nice that you can charge both batteries at the same time. I was kind of surprised, actually. I thought I would only have one charger and only be able to, you know, charge one at a time would be kind of annoying. The way it drives, I think the chassis, suspension, everything is perfect. Servo saver is a little weak, does tend to give pretty easily, so on high traction surfaces it does kind of give and cause it to kind of wander, because as you go left or right it doesn't quite hold its position as well, but you know, that's not a big deal. I'm sure something you could fix pretty easily. Servo is quick, so yeah, motor, ESC, actually quite good. The parts I would say I'm kind of let down is that the radio, you know, like I mentioned, stock radio, pretty poor, one of the worst out there. It's pretty typical for you know, kind of a cheap low-end vehicle like this, so not surprising. But yeah, getting a new radio I think will help. It's still got a bit of a large dead zone off throttle, immediately off throttle, so you know, it doesn't really do anything if you just pull the trigger like a hair. I'm not sure if that's the ESC or the radio. I'm guessing the ESC, so probably swapping out ESC and radio will make a huge difference in how this thing drives. I think this is a pretty good platform, and I would bet this actually drives pretty well on a carpet track. I haven't taken it out there, but you can tell suspension, the actual characteristics of the vehicle itself, quite stiff. Really, really good vehicle in terms of the platform, just let down by electronics a little bit. But I think if you increase those, you would have a pretty good vehicle actually overall. So $153, I think it's a fair price, maybe actually kind of a good price, because it does include two 3S batteries, which, you know, I don't know how much these cost, but that's a pretty good deal. Brushless system, 3S capable, four-wheel drive, you know, real oil shocks and stuff. The platform itself I think is really good. It would be nice if there was like a slipper or a center diff or something in the middle. It's just a fixed, you know, spool basically. So can be a little tricky to drive on loose surfaces. I think it would be best on high traction surfaces. These tires I think are also pretty good. Not so much on any sort of loose, you know, gravel or whatever, but high traction road I think it's also pretty good. So overall, actually one of the better vehicles I've tried on this channel from kind of these lower end sort of Amazon specials. So is it the best? Sounds like we need to do a shootout, but yeah, not a bad vehicle at all. I think it's actually one of the better ones out there, especially at $153. I think that's more than fair with the two included lipos. So anyways, throw down a comment down in the description below. I'll also have a link to where you can pick one of these up if you're interested, as well as the radio if you want to get that. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe buttons. Look for more videos soon. Thanks for watching.